Well, this isn't a surprise that we're playing this again. Hello everybody, this is Hypersonic and welcome back to Sonic CD. I think for the 6th time on this channel. Once again, I'm playing on the modded version of Sonic CD so we can show off the US passings. I think they have very good merit from KMS. Today, before I was rudely interrupted, today I will be playing all of Sonic CD. I think I might even do the time attack, we'll have to see, but I will definitely be playing all of Sonic CD. This time as Sonic and not as Tails like he did in my 19th birthday live stream. So let's get into it. I love this menu. It's really sad that they took this away in the Origins version. Conveniently, I have a new game here. I did not stage it to be like this, but I actually have a new game that I'm supposed to be playing as Sonic. Maybe my past self from like a year and a half ago was like, you know, what if I played this game again as Sonic? Well, let's start the new game, this time as Sonic. Well, of course it gets abruptly cut off. Oh well, but it hasn't been that long since I've seen Palmtree Panic, hasn't it? And oh, I did not see that enemy there. Holy crap! I did not see that enemy. That enemy blends in very well with the stage. Holy crap! But here we are back in Sonic CD. As many of you guys will know, this is obviously going to be a mixed music run. That's why I'm playing this modded, so I don't have to change the soundtrack. I can play the game continuously without going back to the menu just to hear all the songs from both soundtracks I like. We're going to be starting off with, not Speed Up US, but Palmtree Panic Present US. I like this song. It's a very good fit for the stage, the past. Of course, since I'm a very well-seasoned player of Sonic CD, getting to the past isn't that difficult. Maybe I can make a good note of how to get to the past if you're struggling, but for Palmtree Panic Zone 1, all you have to do is go here, use Super Peel out after you get the sign, and then roll. I don't know why, but just roll and then miss that platform, maybe jump on an enemy, and you'll be in the past. And, oh wait, what? The Japanese soundtrack plays here. Hold up. I could have sworn I toggled the US. Oh, I forgot. When I was recording footage for the Passing Comparison series, I played the US past themes first, then the Japanese soundtracks past themes for the footage. Usually I do Japanese soundtrack first, then American soundtrack. The dev menu. Yeah, let's go to the mods. It's in here somewhere. Disable goalpost sign boundary. It is active, but I don't think it works. King Meteor Pass US remixes. Put that active. Okay. And I get booted back to the menu as punishment. There we go. We are finally back here in that good US past themes soundtrack. It's a very good song. I like this song. Very good fit for Palmtree Panic past, and we're not going to be going to the future, or should I say the present. Technically, this is the present now, but you know what I mean. Ooh, the shields from Sonic 1, I forgot. They put them back in Sonic CD. How did I forget about this? Sonic CD is literally built in the Sonic 1 engine. That was close, almost got hit. Okay. Clearly a lot of inspiration is taken from Green Hill Zone with the following platforms and such. Okay. I will be going after all the Metal Sonic holograms. Something that most people don't do. The first one is pretty simple. Right behind this, well, I want to say behind the waterfall, but you know, near the waterfall. I guess by horizontal definition of behind, yes. And the roboticizer literally is not that difficult to get. It's literally right behind it. I gotta go up. Ooh, look at that. That was a nice and clean jump, bro. Just like how this video is looking clean on those borders. You see, in OBS, I put the image of the Sonic CD 2011 box art here. And it's looking clean right now. It's looking clean. When I get the enemies, they're just gonna look clean. Maybe if we put some white lines in, it's gonna look clean. Okay. I'm excited to play this game again, man. As I said, it is my favorite 2D Sonic game, and is literally like number 2 overall, right behind Sonic Unleashed. I think I have just liked this more than Generations now. I think it's overtaken Generations in my liking, so. Ah, yep, yeah, even Sonic confirms it, yes. Oh my god, I love this. I love this so much. Sonic CD is really one misunderstood game. Alright, is 113 the most we're going to be going? But more proof that this game and Sonic 1 were made in the same engine. See, look, I have the mod active, but it doesn't work. But the reason why, again, why Sonic CD and Sonic 1 were in the same engine. Ooh, I love this music, man. Yeah, a song that makes me sound like I made a good future. Look at that. 1,600 points in the first level, not bad. But as I was saying, another proof that this was made in the same engine as Sonic 1, you have the ring that appears after getting 50 rings. That doesn't happen in the other 2 games. In Sonic 2, you have to get 50 rings upon reaching a star post to go to the special stage, and in Sonic 3, you have to find a big giant ring. Okay. These special stages, I messed up the strat for getting a quick special stage 1. My bad. I was too busy talking about the other special stages, as if the other special stages are really that good in my opinion. I mean, look at how much effort was put into this game's special stages, man. Like, see, seriously. I messed up the strat for a quick special stage 1. We'll probably fix that in the hopefully bonus episodes covering the time attack if I do them today. Because I have a terrible track record with bonus episodes. And oh man, I remember when I first saw this time zone screen when I played the full version of this game. 5.5 years ago. I think this year would actually push 6 years since I've returned greatly back to Sonic CD for the first time. Here we are in Palmtree Panic, Zone 2. Alright, this one is a bit more tricky to go in the pass, but you have to take this pass sign. And there's a pathway, as you can see, to the past. And okay, whatever. But as you can see here, there is a pathway. You don't want to run so fast to the point you have sparkles going after you. But you can run around this loop to the point where it doesn't just do it enough to trigger the running sequence. Now, I believe you just want to keep running, I think? Or am I get it wrong? I believe I have to super peel out there. Ah. Okay, so after an incline here, I have to jump. Okay. Yeah, again, as I said, it's a bit tricky, but it becomes easier with a lot of practice. And you know, this all feels really African, just like the music right now. These trees kind of do look like something I would see in Africa. The music sounds a bit like Latin/African. I like it, man. A very good fitting track. And oh boy, speed up US. Oh man, what a fast-paced speed up theme. Oh yeah, look at, I'm just going fast. I'm destroying all the enemies like in the intro sequence. This is another speedrunning episode with Hypersonic over here. Here to go over to get the world record in Sonic CD. I see someone has gone to world record in about 11 minutes or 12 minutes. We're gonna beat that record right now as I take a hit, but don't worry, we're saving time over here. And there we go, another past sign. And oh my god, the invincibility theme. Spencer Nilsson, you make fantastic music. Oh my god. It sounds so powerful, bruh. Oh my god. So catchy, so powerful. How can one not like this theme? Oh, I like how it was almost timed with the end of the song. And oh, the video game, oh, the audio cut out for a second. Oh my god. I'm gonna go on for hours and hours about how much the US soundtrack and Japanese soundtrack shaped my life, maybe for the better. Okay, so I guess I might as well get into my history with Sonic CD's music, like the full-fledged history that I have with both soundtracks of Sonic CD. Obviously, I started out with the Japanese soundtrack, but not in Sonic CD. I first heard the Japanese soundtrack in a Flash game. I don't know what the Flash game was called, but it used many songs from the Japanese soundtrack. It used, in the order that I heard the music, Invincibility from the Japanese soundtrack, Palmtree Panic Bad Future, Tidal Tempest Present, and Metallic Madness Present. So those were my starter songs, in which the Invincibility theme of the Japanese soundtrack really hits a bit differently. But when I first heard Tidal Tempest Present and Palmtree Panic Bad Future in the Japanese soundtrack, I love those two tracks a lot. Which sounds really cursed since now I think they're the worst Present and Bad Future theme in the Japanese soundtrack respectively, but back when I first heard them around over 10 years ago, I think it's been over 10 years now since I first heard them, but I really loved them a whole lot, man. I thought they were very good songs back then. Of course, opinions change with time. Now I like Palmtree Panic better in the American soundtrack. I used to like it a whole lot better in the Japanese soundtrack. I used to know it a whole lot better, at least. And then after hearing those tracks, I actually bothered to get the demo of Sonic 1 on mobile, which apparently the demo has changed in builds, apparently, because for me, in my experience in the demo, Sonic CD was actually had 3 levels. Palmtree Panic Zone 1, Course Quadrant Zone 1, I believe, and Course Quadrant Zone 3. So I also heard the rest of Palmtree Panic, Quartz Quadrant Present, Bad Future. Not Bad Future, but the Good Future. Again, I don't like the Bad Futures. I've never purposely gone to Bad Future in Sonic CD. It's not in my will to screw up the future, even if it's just to hear music, which I think the Good Futures overall had better music. I could probably explain why in the comparison series if I wanted to. Like, one that's similarly structured to the past themes, but this time it's like for both soundtracks in the Good Future versus both soundtracks in the Bad Future. That'd be a very interesting idea. Okay. But of course, going back to my history of music, first it was those 4 tracks I mentioned in the Flash game. Then it was, oh god, okay. Then it was Quartz Quadrant. Not Quartz Quadrant, but the rest of Palmtree Panic, because I remember I think I looked up the rest of Palmtree Panic on YouTube because of Sonic Generations, because I remember I got Sonic Generations in 2013, and it had Palmtree Panic present in the Japanese soundtrack, and yeah, the looping is a bit weird, like the 93 version, but don't mind that, but so then it was Palmtree Panic present Japanese soundtrack, a song I still love to this day, despite my quirks, oh not quirks, but I don't know, maybe musical beef with the rest of Palmtree Panic in the Japanese soundtrack. In which a lot of people like to talk about TikTok on my extended archive video, Palmtree Panic Past. Please stop doing that. It's really stupid. TikTok is a bunch of foolishness. But again, going back to my history with the music, you know, listening to Palmtree Panic in the Japanese soundtrack for the first time, I really loved the Bad Future theme. I really loved the Good Future theme the most out of them, which is, again, another cursed statement since that's my least favorite Good Future theme and Future theme in the entire game. But yeah. That was my opinion at one point. But then you had Course Quadrant. I still love Course Quadrant to this day. In all timelines except for the past. And then, after this point is where I take a hiatus. Because I got the demo in 2014. I first heard of the Sonic CD Japanese soundtrack. And, was it 2012 or 2011? I can't remember. It was like early 2010s, though. Of course, I heard Sonic Boom. I didn't realize that was the US soundtrack until I got the game, though. I don't know when I heard Sonic Boom. Was it in 2012, 2013? I think it was around Kobani Mario 456's first playthrough of Sonic CD. When I first heard it. Because I looked it up for myself, I believe. I looked up some other tracks of the soundtrack, but don't really remember them quite as much as when I visited the entire soundtrack for the Japanese soundtrack in 2017. And then the US soundtrack, I did hear a song from the US soundtrack in a Flash game. That is the Zone Clear theme. So yeah, this song does take me back quite a lot, as you'll hear in a second. But yes, I heard that first in a sort of like Angry Birds styled Sonic Flash game. Whenever you complete a level, it would play that song. So when I first heard it on the US soundtrack after giving it a chance, because I'll get into that, how I used to hate the US soundtrack with all of my heart. So yeah, again, contrary to what some people may think of me, I actually had a part of my life where I hated the US soundtrack on principle. Because, well, it's not the Japanese soundtrack that I was used to, so therefore bad. It wasn't even about the US boss theme or Star Freeway. Granted, those were points on the list, but they weren't the big points. But at the same time, while I hated the US soundtrack back in 2017, the time I played Sonic CD in 2017 was around late June to early August, I believe. I think I played the demo on my PS3 in June, but I didn't actually get to play the full game until August. August 7th specifically, because that was my first day of high school. And I remember on my first day of high school, I came back to play Sonic CD. There we go. 9 seconds left, but we're fine. But yeah, I came back from school to play Sonic CD, and I definitely threw my controller at Wacky Workbench. I used to hate Wacky Workbench, now I love it. It's my favorite stage in this game. And legit a top 3 stage in the entire series, but we'll get to that later. But again, back to the music, 2017, around summertime, probably August, I started to listen to the entire Japanese soundtrack, and I fell in love with it, man. Oh my god, this is an amazing song. Oh, Punch Panic Zone 3. Alright, it's time for another speedrun. So, I'm going to grab this Invincibility over here. Get to hear some good guitar riffs from Spencer Nilsson. You love to see it. I'm going to miss the 1-up by accident because I'm not really too focused on getting 1-ups. And we're going to hear the controversial US boss scene that isn't that scary. Like, I'm really home alone right now, and this doesn't scare me that much. Maybe a bit of shivers right through my body there, but I'm not as scared of that boss scene. And 26.7, not bad. I've gotten better times than that on this zone. It's because I was commentating, but yeah. There's my speed run, but going on about the music, I fell in love with the Japanese soundtrack. Hating the US soundtrack. I remember I did a school little project thing where I actually ignored the US soundtrack. It was a cover for Sonic CD. I covered all the tracks in the Japanese soundtrack in the back, listing off all the tracks in the soundtrack. I believe I ignored the US soundtrack at this point. Oh man, Collision Chaos Japanese soundtrack. This is one song that I actually sung to myself out loud, and my mom heard me. It's a little bit of memory, but oh man. We're not going to the bad future. We're going to get the time zones and destroy the roboticizers. Like a good Hedgehog. Okay, we're not going to go too fast. Alright, make sure you land correctly so you don't time travel, because I've had to happen to me a few times. But again, my history with the music, I love the Japanese soundtrack, fell in love with it. My favorite song after hearing all of the tracks was, I believe it was Quartz Quadrant Present. Was it that one, or was it Collision Chaos Good Future in the Japanese soundtrack, or Tidal Tempest Good Future, or Quartz Quadrant Good Future, or Star Freeway Good Future? So many of them, man. But I can tell you what my least favorite one was. That was Cosmic Eternity. I didn't even bother to listen to that one after playing the game because it was such an awful song to me, and still isn't. I won't say it's awful. I guess they do technically like it, but just not really that great. I didn't get to fully hear the track for myself on my own until making Season 2 of the comparison series, which Season 2 took place like 4 years after the fact, so yeah. And time traveling here to the past is not that difficult. The game literally sets it up for you. Okay. Oh, I love that sound effect. This game is really nostalgic to me. I still like it even after all this time, though, so it's not just a nostalgia thing. But there you go. Time traveling to the past is not that difficult here. And here we go with the US past theme here. It's a very good fit, very atmospheric. I like the work that KMS put into these. Unlike some people, they know who they are. I won't mention them by name because I'm not here to embarrass them. Okay, apparently that wasn't a good enough charity to the swipers here, which yes, they exist in Sonic CD. Whether you like it or not, they exist in Sonic CD. And Sonic CD, again, was supposed to come out before Sonic 2. It was, but development issues with Sonic CD. But I think the time they took off, they made a great game. A game that impacted my life so greatly. And speaking of impacts, we're going to be talking about the impact the US soundtrack made on my life, because no soundtrack I have ever heard, like, no other soundtrack I've ever encountered has changed my opinion. I've ever changed my opinion on it so drastically. I used to hate the US soundtrack a lot, and then once I heard a certain specific track at the right time, I just fell in love with the US soundtrack ever since then. And I treated it just as great as I treat the Japanese soundtrack since that moment, really. For most of the part, because again, I did have that time where the fandom for the Japanese soundtrack pushed me away from the music. And we'll get to that later, but there's the Metal Sonic hologram. It's up here. It's not that difficult for this stage. The only times where it's actually difficult to find is Star Subway, because it's by far the biggest stage in the entire game, and it's just a convoluted mess. Okay. Alright, 49 rings, almost enough for that thing at the end. Okay. Oh, there we go. There it is, and here you go. How much did they give you for a bounce? 100, 200 points for a bounce. That's 100. My bad. Okay. Okay, and but we're here at the end, basically. I think we are. But again, let's get to the timeline straight with my history of music. So, in August 2017, I listened to the entire Japanese soundtrack. I thought it was one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard. I liked a lot of tracks in it that I don't really like a whole lot nowadays. We'll see about this old effect with music. Because I used to think the Japanese boss theme was like the best boss theme in all of gaming. Now that's changed. I think it's now Hopes and Dreams. That's the best boss theme I've ever heard. Period. But normal boss themes specifically, I don't know which that one would be. I really don't know. And I'm missing this. I'm missing that flipper. Okay, we'll just ignore that flipper for the time being. In fact, I'm probably not accessing it correctly. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta hold all the way to the left on that. Okay, that's interesting. I'm still learning some things to this day, but fast forward to around like September. Was September or October? October 2017. So at this point, it's been 2 months since I've fallen in love with the Japanese soundtrack. And this is my freshman year of high school. So freshman year of high school hits differently. Even though I'm like a sophomore in high school right now, even though I should be a freaking senior, but apparently all my credits don't transfer. Just maybe it's like currency, but again, there we go. But fast forward to around October 22nd, 23rd, 2017. This is when I fell in love with the US soundtrack, because before then, I really hated the US soundtrack on Principle. I didn't really talk about it much in the comments section, because, I mean, it was basically done and said for in the comments section. I did give a like to the comments that showed hate to the US soundtrack. I definitely did. I was not above that. In fact, I would actually go into DA Garden and just talk everything bad as I could about the US soundtrack to every single track, letting it play for only a few seconds to switch to the other track, and talk about how bad it was. That's how much I hated the US soundtrack. I still vividly remember doing this. Was this around September of 2017? Because I remember I did that. It was really childish and foolish of me to do so. Didn't even listen to the entire track, and I think I even did this going on YouTube. I remember one time I accidentally listened to Collision Chaos Good Feature US, so that's my first US Good Feature. And I was like, what the heck is this? This isn't a beautiful song in the Japanese soundtrack I remember. That's not my favorite song of all time. But fast forward to October, and this is a day that will live on in my memory. Because this was the day I was, once again, talking crap about the US soundtrack. This time in Star Speedway. Yeah, oh boy. This happened specifically in the present theme of Star Speedway. Where I was just talking about just how much I hated the music. Like, why did they change the music for the godly Japanese soundtrack into this mess for Star Speedway Present? Oh boy, I remember those days. Alright, we're gonna play the US version of Collision Chaos Present because it's actually a pretty good song. Okay. Alright. This song takes me back to 2018. Thankfully, it's not ruined by 2018, but we'll get to that later. But again, in the history of my time with Sonic CD soundtracks, this day around 4:00 p.m., I remember this day. I was talking crap about the US soundtrack again to myself, talking to myself. And this was a day where I would listen to Wacky Workbench Good Future and the American soundtrack because I listened to the present theme and the Bad Future theme. I believe the Bad Future theme first, since the comments in the Brawls videos before he was terminated were talking about how good the US soundtrack was in Wacky Workbench. I believe it was in the Bad Future and the present, but I was a big fan of Wacky Workbench Bad Future Japanese soundtrack, still am to this day. Alright, let's get away from here because, I don't know, people may not like the sounds at this level. Okay. Alright, well, I'll see you in Metropolis Zone next week, probably. Maybe I record Sonic 2 tomorrow, we'll see. But, I remember just how astonished I was hearing Wacky Workbench Good Future American soundtrack. And I remember just before then, I was listening to the Bad Future. That was the first US level theme other than Collision Chaos Good Future. It was the first one that certainly had a place in my heart at the time. I thought it was a tie with the Japanese counterpart. It was a really good song. I really liked it. It reminded me a whole lot of Dragon Ball Z's music in the end of the episode. It would play music like that. So yeah, it reminds me of that. So there you go. Gives me some of those memories of when I used to watch a bit of Dragon Ball Z and not a big weeb. I think that's pretty obvious. I don't really like anime too much. Anime definitely does cross some boundaries I don't really like to be crossed. And don't worry about going to the past. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about going to the past. What you have to do is take this past sign over here and just roll out the and realize that you could probably get some good points there. I was gonna say infinite, but no. But yeah, just use the half pipes there, roll off of them, go to the past. Very simple. And here we go with the US soundtrack. I might actually change this to the Japanese soundtrack for the past theme. I think Collision Chaos Past and the Japanese soundtrack has some merit, so I'm actually gonna come back here. Alright. I actually like this song. Not as much as the other three, I'll definitely say that, yeah, as you've seen in the past theme series. Well, for some of you guys that have seen the past themes, you'll see why, but, but going back onto my history of music, Wacky Workbench American soundtrack, I thought the present theme was okay. The Bad Future, though, was really good in my opinion. And the Good Future, I had yet to hear it, so I at least gave the US soundtrack a chance there, but not all around, because I was hearing good things about Wacky Workbench. And man, was I so glad I listened to that song when I did. When I first heard Wacky Workbench's Good Future theme in the American soundtrack, I was just astonished with how great it sounded. Like, legit, the best song I've ever heard in my entire life, and I still claim it as such. As far as it goes to, like how good it sounds in terms of melody and whatnot, and how good it fits. Yeah, certainly. Without a doubt. I was just so astonished. I just went from hating the US soundtrack to adoring it at this moment. And geez, it's just such a fantastic song. And this is why I still claim it as my favorite song right now, because it's just changed. It just turned me from hating the US soundtrack with all my heart to loving it with all my heart. So it just hits differently nowadays. It just really does. Okay, and you roll after using a super peel out. That's how you actually, that's how you super peel out correctly. Gotta get another ring though. Trying to think about what to say now, because again, it was a very good song. The part of the song that really sold it for me, as like basically sealed the deal, was the part at the end where you actually hear all the machinery in the background and the people working in the factory, symbolizing how much of an improvement it is technologically from the present theme, and showing that it's a good future, very positive future theme. I think it's happier in the present theme even to this day. Okay, that was weird. I hope the audio for this game is being recorded. If it isn't, I'm still gonna keep the video and my mic recording. This is why I'm glad I recorded my mic separately. At least the video gets a bit more personal of how I talk about my history with this game. Which we're really talking about the music, but yeah, the US soundtrack made a very good first impression of me when I actually bothered to listen to it. Because again, I was a bit curious of it. I was, admittedly, but I just hated it on principle. And I don't know if I would tell a person to kill themselves like the US soundtrack, which that is something I actually did encounter later in my life. That is something that definitely did happen. Don't want to talk about it too much since the guy apologized. So, but yeah, fandom disagrees, but Wacky Workbench Give It US changed my heart. I started to give the US soundtrack a fair chance, and it ended up making just as much good songs as the Japanese soundtrack, in my opinion. So I ended up liking them both equally. And I'm going to go for a 1-up here, since I missed one in Palmtree Panic Zone 3. Okay, and we're also going to take the secret exit here, by the way. One thing that people hate about this game is Sonic's jump sound effect. Personally, I actually like it. In fact, the old jump sound effects from Sonic 1 and the other games actually sounds weird to me. That's how accustomed I am to Sonic CD as a whole. God, this video right now is 39 minutes, 15 minutes in this recording. I may have to split this into 2 different episodes. That's just a continuous thought or something. Yeah, and I'm not going down there because there's traps and I don't want to get hurt. Is this going to be just like Springyard Zone Act 1 in Sonic 1 in my Let's Play that I just did last week, where I just fall a bit short of a 1-up? No, this cannot be the case. Oh, this part of the song is a bit nostalgic. I'll give it that. Very nostalgic. Fits with that sunset that this stage has in the past game. Again, you'll love to see it. Alright, what's down there? I see something down there. 1-up. Oh, I want to try for that 1-up. Why not? Holy crap, am I supposed to get this in the past even? Oh, aha! It is possible. Alright, I may have to take the L over this. At least we got the special stage. At least we got that, but... Really? 2 rings left, just like in... Oh my god, it's happening again. But the time is over at 10 minutes. And 42 minutes going on. We may have to actually split this into 2 parts. Holy crap. Special Stage 4. Alright, Special Stage 4. It's not tough. Special Stage 5 is when it starts to get really egregiously tough. Okay. I believe this is my route. Oh. Okay. Yep, alright, there we go. Let's get to here. I don't care if I touch the water a little bit. It's not going to hurt that much. Alright, and here we go with the speed up. There we go. Took a little bit of concentration, but not that bad. Could have done a bit better there. There we go, time zone number 4. Alright, time bonus, extra lives. You can get extra lives in this? Interesting. Maybe it's when you get all the rings. Maybe. Or maybe just when you get 100 rings, okay. And oh boy, this song. This is an amazing song. This is why I love the good feature so much more. Oh, what the heck? That's a really weird loop, but man, that is my favorite song on the Japanese soundtrack. Collision Chaos, Good Future. It sounds like you freaking did it, man. Here we go with the US boss team. You will learn how to fear Eggman, even in a good future, because this guy is going to turn into a bad future, one way or another. Alright. But, okay, the song is not that scary, plus this boss is easy. My best time on this level was 20 seconds. Try to beat that. I believe it was like a bit shy of 20 maybe. But yeah, try to beat that. And oh god, Title Temp is present. I'm going to see you guys in a different video because this video right now in the raw recording is like 45 minutes, 45 seconds. About to push 46 minutes. I'll say goodbye to you guys for now. God bless you guys. Hope you guys rely on God. I'll see you guys in the next video. And goodbye.